Alright, Bonehawks, this video is all about Mortal Kombat 1. And if you played Mortal Kombat 11, or maybe you didn't like Mortal Kombat 11 and your last game that you played was MKX, and you're coming into Mortal Kombat 1, either of those games have their certain amount of bad habits that don't translate very well into this game. So if there's some strategies that you catch yourself doing that aren't really working, that could be why. So we're going to go through 5 of them today, how you can break them and become a better Mortal Kombat player. If learning and developing as a player is kind of what your thing is, then consider subscribing. But yeah, let's get into it.
Accept your death.
So this one would be residual from Mortal Kombat 11, and trust me, I'm having a really hard time personally breaking this because I've just been so used to doing it for literally years. And that is uppercutting throw whiffs. So you read a throw, you duck it, smack them with an uppercut. In this game, you do get rewarded kind of for this, because you can cancel this using 2 bars into like an air combo. But the damage that you get for using 2 bars of meter definitely is not worth it. You can get way more for just ducking and doing a combo attack or something else entirely. There's 34%. That's not even an optimal combo with Scorpion. But really try and get used to ducking and going into an actual combo launcher or combo starter, because you're just leaving so much damage on the table just doing an uppercut. You could be doing so much more with. Like I said, this is something that I'm working on personally too, so the struggle is real, let me tell you. And this next one is for all you MKX players out there, because yeah, this does not function nearly as well in this game as it did in MKX, and that's relying on the low overhead mix. The overheads in this game are countered pretty heavily by the up block mechanic, which means that a lot of the times your overheads are going to be punishable. Not all times, you know. General Shao has some good safe overheads if you want to mix with him. But generally speaking, the mix in this game is not like low overhead. It is definitely spacing, punishing, and then making the damage count when you get your hits. So make sure that you kind of understand the range that your opponent wants to play at, and maybe try and catch them missing a move, like maybe Scorpion just kind of throws this out, and you're right there ready to punish him. Those are kind of the things that are going to be more rewarded, rather than just kind of getting in their face and hoping that they guess wrong with an overhead or low. Like I said, there are some scenarios in this game where that's the case, but overall, that's not really how you want to be playing it. So this next one is a gigantic one, and I've seen players do this in MKX and MK11. It is a little bit more prevalent in MK11 because it's kind of the basis of what that game is, and that is mashing pokes. This game, a good player will punish you heavily for doing that. So we need to focus on our frame data here. So on hit, a down 1, Scorpion's down 1, gives us 12 hit advantage. This is more than almost any poke would give you in MK11. And it's kind of on par with MKX, not quite, but pretty similar. So definitely you don't need to just do poke into throw. That was definitely the meta in MK11, and these overheads in this game are generally too slow to do poke into mix that you would do in MKX. So you really just want to use your poke to jail into either a high attack or combo string, or go into a mid if you have one. Scorpion's 4-3 is a pretty good mid, it's a good stagger. But yeah, what you never want to do is just do 2 pokes back to back, not hit confirming the first one. It's really important that you make sure that you look at your poke. Did it hit or did it not hit? Because if we hit our opponent with a poke, like I said, we're minus 12. But if we're just mashing, we mash out a second poke and our opponent blocks it, now we're minus 8. So we've lost that pressure completely, and it's your opponent's turn now to kind of do whatever they want. So it's really important that you don't just kind of machine gun these out. In MK11 you could do that, and to some extent in MKX you could do that because some of them were quite safe. In this game, a lot of pokes are actually punishable. Like Scorpion could actually just punish his own poke. And so here we're going to have Sub-Zero come and poke us, and we're actually going to punish his poke with our own. So there we go. So we just straight up punished him for trying to do a poke. So pokes are not safe in this game. You have to make sure that you're throwing them out at the proper times and really using them to protect yourself. And just to kind of piggyback off that last one is pokes into throws. This is something that, again, is more residual from MK11 just because of the meta of that game. But you can do way more now that you have more hit advantage. with a poke into something else. You don't need to do the poke into throw. Again, as somebody that played MK11 through the game's whole life, that's something that I'm still having to break the habit of. Every once in a while, poke into throw is good, especially if you've kind of established that you're going with a good mid afterwards. But throws just aren't like a good generic thing to throw out anymore. You do have to be careful of the cameo, because of course there's certain directions you might actually get a shove. So you have much better options than poke into throw, unless this is just a read in certain situations. And the last one here is just not having meter awareness. So you're not really filling your super meter. If you were playing MK11, then you're probably just kind of used to your meter just kind of coming back. And although you do build meter fairly easy in this game, it is important to be aware of where you stand with it, how much meter you're building with each attack, and maybe have some combo attacks or strings or block pressure that you do that's safe, specifically to build meter, because it doesn't come back on its own in this game unless you're talking about the cameo meter. And if you played MKX, you will probably already be fantastic at this, because you already have that awareness that your meter has to be built, so that would actually be a good habit from MKX. But unfortunately, kind of a bad habit from MK11. So understanding and learning how to build your own meter and just managing it correctly is such an important part of this game, and I definitely suggest that you pay attention to it, especially when you're training. And there you have it. 5 habits that you may have picked up by playing MKX or MK11 that don't transfer well over to Mortal Kombat 1. If you found this video helpful, please leave a like because it really helps me out, and subscribe if you haven't, because we make new videos almost every single day. Hashtag Bonehawks, all that stuff, and we'll see all you Bonehawks in the next video.
Accept your death.